From the darkness steps the Broodlord, a towering apex predator. The room throbs with psychic static as the mind of cold, perfect malice pulses. The Genestealers begin to stir. The Broodlord's lesser kin hiss and flex their claws in the light. The Broodlord advances and screams for blood as we begin another episode of the Genestealer Gauntlet. Each competitor will face endless waves of Genestealers with only their raw stats and abilities as well as their faction rule. No enhancements, no stratagems, and no detachment abilities. Today's challenger is a Broodlord equipped with Broodlord claws and talons. It's got devastating wounds, which is always incredibly useful, and although the faction abilities are mainly for battle shock, which we don't use, the hypnotic gaze will make it much harder to hit. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel, and thank you for your continued support. Also check out the Patreon and Discord in the video description, and let's begin. The Genestealers enter the gauntlet and the Broodlord faces off against them, both groups unflinching. The Genestealers are less disciplined, and so they make the first move, creeping towards the Bloodlord slowly. But the Broodlord senses their intent and strikes at them with its guillotine claws. 5 strikes from the Broodlord, 5 wounds inflicted, and no saves made. 5 Genestealers are ripped apart, their bodies hitting the floor in twitching pieces. The Broodlord's psychic presence pulses outwards, warning further Genestealers that the Broodlord is armed and ready. The Genestealers don't heed the warning and they enter once more through their dark crevices. But the Broodlord reacts quickly and with surgical brutality. It leaps into the middle of the Genestealers, causing chaos amongst their ranks as it readies its talons. 5 hits from the Broodlord, 4 wounds inflicted, and no saves made from the Genestealers. 4 of the Genestealers fall down dead, but 1 manages to avoid the deadly slicing. It leaps in retaliation, claws ready to scrape across the Broodlord's hide. The Genestealer hits 4 times, but fails to cause a single wound. The Broodlord's tough exterior holds firm under the scythe-like claws of the Genestealer. The Genestealer is undeterred and hits another 3 times, but causes no wounds again. The Broodlord screeches in anger and unleashes a furious cutter on the last standing Genestealer. Being the sole focus of the attacks isn't good news for the Genestealer, and it is torn to pieces as the gauntlet floor is now slick with blood. The Broodlord is on the front foot now and does not wait for the Genestealers to attack this time. Instead, it surges forward into the Genestealers, playing the part of Predator flawlessly. 5 hits from the Broodlord, 4 wounds inflicted, and 1 save made. 3 Genestealers are brushed aside by the Broodlord's dominating power, but 2 still remain, and they take their chance to harm their sadistic cousin. 5 hits from the Genestealers with a helpful reroll. 4 wounds inflicted, and only 1 save made. The Broodlord is hit heavily and staggers down to 3 wounds with another attack waiting to land. 5 hits from the Genestealers, 2 wounds inflicted, and no saves made. The Broodlord's psychic scream shakes the gauntlet and it reels in pain and drops to 1 wound remaining. However, the Broodlord is able to lash out in fury and decapitates the 2 Genestealers in 1 quick swipe. A bad round for the apex predator as it's wounded heavily, but it's not over yet. The Broodlord, bleeding and enraged, wastes no time and rushes the Genestealers with desperate fury. Despite the injuries, the sight of this monster standing tall and ready to strike is a terrifying thing indeed. 5 hits from the Broodlord, 3 wounds inflicted, and no saves made. 3 Genestealers are dead again, but I think the Broodlord needed more than that to survive on just 1 wound. And the Genestealers look set to prove me right by sneaking around the Broodlord and getting ready to strike. 6 hits from the Genestealers, courtesy of a couple of rerolls, and no wounds inflicted. After suffering greatly in the previous round, the Broodlord shows its strength once again and brushes off the hits easily. But these Genestealers come again. down. 8 hits from the Genestealers thanks to the rerolls. Only 2 wounds inflicted, but unfortunately, no saves are made. The Broodlord collapses, its psychic presence flickering out like a dying star. But even in death, its dangerous talons strike one last time, killing the 2 Genestealers as the gauntlet falls into silence, and the Broodlord proves its ferocity with even its dying breath. The Broodlord has killed 35 Genestealers, a good go at the gauntlet, though we never like to promote Tyranid on Tyranid violence. And where does that place it on the leaderboard? Underneath the gargantuan effort of the Scorpec Lord, but actually second place on the character leaderboard. A great result out of nowhere, really. I think the epic heroes that we've been doing recently have skewed how hard the gauntlet actually is. Don't forget to like and subscribe and keep suggesting those models. Please also check out the Discord and Patreon in the video description. We will see you next time.